because yeah, support hasn't gotten back to me. And oh, we're live by the way.
Right.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us for yet another edition of White Pill Wednesday. It's been a minute since we've done a normal one of these. Been kind of gaming the last two, but yeah, we're back. Thanks for joining me, James. I appreciate making the time.
Yeah, always happy to be here.
Yeah,
I honestly I hate talking to you. It's such a terrible time.
go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that's why I spend like hours talking to you on stream and then like days talking to you off stream. I can't stand the sound of your voice.
We're friends. We're friends, by the way. We're just friends. We're just friends. I just want to make that clear.
Like I had to outline that.
No Diddy, no Diddy, bro.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, but as you can see, as we were just talking, still banned on Twitter for being labeled as inauthentic for some giant mysterious reason. Support hasn't gotten back to me in any way, shape, or form. I've appealed. I didn't really spam links or any of that BS. Like I didn't really wasn't going around just copying and pasting my shit everywhere. There was a minute where I was doing like a lot of it, but I don't know if it's enough to get triggered by a spam filter. Um, and I had the highest like verification, but they still banned me. And this has been happening since February. So yeah, if anybody knows anyone in support or can tweet on my behalf to free white pill, that would be greatly appreciated because this shit is a little bit retarded.
Just a touch.
Just a touch.
Again, inauthenticity. What? Why, for reposting stuff? I thought that's what Twitter was built on.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. Um, I did streamed multiple times on Twitter. There's plenty of people that know me that I've met off of Twitter. I think people know that I'm a real person. I still do work for Outsider Supply under my
Dude, you're not
name.
real.
You know what? Yeah, no, birds are real. I'm the one that's not real.
Guys, this guy isn't real.
I'm not even real. That man is not real.
That is
Uh,
probably the stupidest thing I've probably ever heard.
oh, that lady having that breakdown on the airplane.
That man is not real.
Yeah, that's a weird one. I don't know what
Man, you need some
that
help.
is. I think
That's a
yeah.
crazy statement.
I think she was just having like a nervous breakdown or something.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and it was very unfortunate because she was like a famous realtor or something. Like she works for a very publicly facing business where she'd meet a lot of people. So like that, like
Yikes.
yeah, that's her personal reputation right there. But anyways,
Whoopsie daisy, I went viral.
yeah, before we get off the topic, yeah, still banned. So I'd appreciate it if you guys can tweet on my behalf or just share my stuff. It would be greatly appreciated. I'm working on something right now. I can't say much, but hopefully it'll uh, help me get back in the good graces of Daddy Musk. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe maybe if I transition and I get like an artificial womb placed inside me, I can ask Elon Musk to give me his babies.
Oh my god, is that what it's come to? Is that what it's come to?
I
This is the
mean,
COVID vaccine all over again. I'll get it so I can get a drink.
I don't think it's on the same level as that, but
No, no, no.
yeah, Elon Musk has fathered many children off of women that he's met on Twitter. It is no secret, which is very weird. Like he's doing color by numbers for kids.
Copy paste.
Yeah, basically.
Control C, Control V, Control Z.
And okay, here's the thing. Like, I'm not chiding him for it just because, like, oh, it's like a funny thing to say. No, it's just, it's a weird because his philosophy behind it, from my understanding, um, I could be wrong, so like I'll look this up. But I'm pretty sure Elon Musk has publicly stated that he wants to spread on his genes to as many children as possible to maximize the amount of like his genius intellect that is out there in the world. I'm pretty sure that's
Oh,
a stated goal.
so this is like Shazam, right? You get all the kids together and then they turn into one superhuman.
Elon Musk gets reincarnated. Let me find this out. Hold on. Has
I
Elon
am
Musk
Shamusk.
ever publicly stated why he aims to have so many children? Here's hoping.
Why does Elon Musk keep having children with nearly every woman?
Yeah, he's fathered at least 12 to 14 children with multiple women. He cites his reason being his belief that declining birth rates pose an existential threat. Sure, that's valid. I think one of the biggest risks of civilization is a low birth rate and a rapidly declining birth rate. Okay, agreed.
This is all
Um,
about declining birth rate.
I'm doing my best to help the underpopulated. Jesus Christ.
Keep scrolling
I'm
down. Personal
I'm
philosophy and
trying to set a good example by having many children.
man, if I had the money, I'd do that too.
um. Okay, I agree, but like, why is? Oh yeah, because the model refreshes.
That's kind of a crazy statement, though. I just saw a quote that said like, "Have children, um, one way or another." It's like I don't know about that.
Um.
Just have kids one way or another, and humanity will die.
Yeah, that's definitely a far stretch from what I said would be his stated reason, but that
Yeah,
is
I
the
don't say anything on that.
yeah, that is the result that ends up happening as he spreads his genes across as many people as possible. But in any case, yeah, that
If only more people had slept with Stephen Hawking.
I don't know if he could handle that in his condition. I genuinely don't know. Like that's that's not even a joke. Like I
Is
don't
that what we're
understand.
starting this stream off
Uh,
with? If Stephen Hawking could survive coitus, like
I don't know if his little heart could take it. Um, yeah, that's very odd. It's a very odd thing to just have like pump as many kids out because like what happens to that kid? Like so what? So if you just he has sex with a woman or like IFV or whatever, and then they have the kid, and then that's it, and like what life goes on. Like how present is he gonna be in all
thanks
their lives?
handshake, moving on. Like,
Well, you know, like how present is he gonna be in their life? Like that matters. It's not
well,
just
he's got like 19 of them, so
like it's not just about like having as many kids as possible. Like it's kind of important to make sure they don't turn out to be pieces of shit.
quality over quantity.
Yeah, I would figure that would be a
At
concern.
least quality of life over quantity.
Um, I mean, they're gonna be well off, no doubt. You know,
Sure,
inheritance and all that, but still, like I don't know. Like,
financially.
well, no, but like, what does that do? What does that do to a child psychologically, knowing that the reason that you were born is not because it came out of an act of love, but it came out of your dad wanting to put as many kids on the planet as possible. And you just happen to be the next one,
I didn't choose to be born.
and you don't even like. You're not even growing up together. Like a lot of these cases, the kids just have like a
Yet
mom
he's
and that's it.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Like you can't avoid the man.
I don't know. Maybe it's not my place to judge another man when it comes to that kind of stuff, but it at the least seems very strange. It doesn't seem like a humane way of going about raising a family. Like it's like he's min-maxing
Oh, he's
family.
got multiple families.
Yeah. Um yeah. I've kind of shifted with my opinion on Musk and all these people. I don't know if I'm really all that a fan of a lot of what they do. Like you remember that CEO, not the CEO. What was his name? I think it's Peter Thiel. He has
Well,
that
they're
interview.
still yeah.
where he's like, where he's asked, should humanity survive? And he can't answer the question. Where's the volume?
Race to endure, right? You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes,
I don't know. I would.
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit in this.
You would prefer the human race to?
What questions are implicit in this? What are you talking about? Okay, and just so you know, because you probably don't know who Peter Thiel is, he's one of the guys that created PayPal with Musk. He's like old money when it comes to tech. This guy's fucking, he has done so much when it comes to this field. It's crazy. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Instead of reading a Wikipedia page, give me a short list of Peter Thiel's. Oh yeah, accomplishments and things he is known for. Actually, no. Give me a list. Like, that answer's concerning, man. That's fucking concerning. Co-founder of PayPal, co-founder of Palantir, who is the company that's making fucking weapons and shit. Their AI detection software was apparently used during, or AI facial detection software was apparently used during COVID. Or I think they're like signal tracking, something about tracking people during COVID. Like they used.
I've heard of Palantir.
Palantir,
sorry.
It's from the Lord of the Rings. He names all his company after Lord of the Rings things.
Oh.
Was Palantir involved in tracking citizens during COVID-19?
In what book did PayPal come from?
that was actually in The Hobbit.
Oh yeah, was it?
Yeah.
Bilbo Baggins had to transfer some money to
PayPal the White.
PayPal, Jesus.
Yeah. Palantir provided its Foundry software to help the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention and Department of Health and Human Services analyze COVID-19 data, visualize virus spread, and anticipate hospital needs. So if you want to see a real-life example of how Palantir fucking used its tech, here it is. We just went through it. They developed Tiberius, a tool for managing COVID-19 vaccine purchases, distribution, and tracking whether vulnerable populations were getting vaccinated. Okay, so Palantir is not some like, oh, they just make rockets and we never see them. No. They are so much more than that. Started in 2003, by the way. Founder of Teal Capital Management in 1996. Huge firm. Co-founder of Founders Trust, along with PayPal partners Ken Howry and Luke Nozek, Teal launched this venture capital firm that has invested in companies like SpaceX, Airbnb, and Lyft. He was the first outside investor in Facebook of $500K for 10% stake in Facebook. And he sold his shares for $1 billion in 2012. Co-founder of other investment firms. Yeah, this guy's like, he's deep in it. He's deep in it. He gives out $100K every year for kids to skip college and build their own companies. He was in the served in Donald Trump's presidential transition team and spoke at the Republican National Convention. He's like, yeah, he's up there. He funded several lawsuits against Gawker Media, including Hulk Hogan's case that resulted in a $140 million award.
But on to the point about the whole, like, should human beings survive, and Musk's take on having this many children in this particular manner. These people are still like disconnected, I feel.
No, they're connected, just not to the right thing.
Okay, I explain, because I kind of get what you mean by that, but
Well, like
So what are you saying? They're connected to what?
they're connected to like the people that are like in this world that want to birth the new god that is AI, and they don't really care for much of the ramifications. I mean, they understand them, but like they still want to force it. Like I guarantee you, this guy has an AI play of some sort that he's investing in companies. Palantir is using AI, so there's no doubt that he's involved in
Oh
this,
yeah,
and he's like a
I see what
major
you're saying.
figurehead. So yeah, like they are plugged into the society that they want to create. But okay, let me put it this way.
Yeah, but it's their own agendas. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Absolutely,
Like, yeah,
absolutely.
it has nothing to do with the populace
Yeah.
or the betterment of the species. As obviously, like this guy doesn't even want the human race to survive.
Well, he does maybe could potentially. We didn't hear what
Yeah,
he said
I
the rest
know.
of the answer, but
I'm
yeah, he
sure I'm
hesitated.
sure I can figure out what he was getting at. You know,
Yeah,
like the whole
eventually.
thing about all the fucking implications and the questions have to be asked. Like, is this a future where humanity manages to overcome, its finite fuel sources and waste management and so on, or does this one that acclimatizes to technology and becomes, almost, symbiotic? Like, yeah, no, I get what you're getting at, but still, to hesitate on that question and to be like, just yes, regardless, is still weird.
Yeah, absolutely. It is absolutely fucking weird for someone that has a net worth value of 20 bill, um, 20 bill estimated value to do that and to have all these fingers in his pies. Like that's not it's not a good take, man. Fire your PR. Like what the hell? How could you say something like that? I don't. What do you mean you don't want us to survive? You like even if he is like pushing for this like world where we're like adopting technologies. Okay, so what happens to the people that want to stay organic? What happens to the people that want to stay 100% organic and
Uh-oh.
not like not integrate at all and just live a decent life? I think they should be free to do that.
I think there was a video game series called Deuce X that outlined this pretty well.
Yeah, I
Or even Cyberpunk.
yeah, it's weird. It's weird how all of these people just have these opinions. Because what I was getting to earlier was like one thing I've learned from this like whole Epstein blow up with all the data and releases and all that is that when you get to a certain point and you're rich, you don't want to buy stuff because you can afford anything. You want to buy experiences. Like that's when you're sitting around
Mhm.
and thinking of ways to use your money. That's when you have the
Mhm.
time to do that. And so what happens when we start like accelerating into AI and all these people find a new hobby and investing in this stuff? Like
It's just a
that's
different
yeah,
high.
yeah, and making it come to fruition. Yeah, he's a weird one. He's a fucking weird one. All
Mm.
of them are really.
Yeah, they're not quite like us, are they?
No, no, they exist in their own little world. Like yeah, there's rules they got to play by and all that, but like realistically, if they're making this happen, if you're on a level where you're helping to facilitate the tracking of citizens and vaccines and all this other stuff, like you got your finger on the trigger or a finger on the button rather. Uh,
Mhm.
that's very weird because then when you hear about like vaccine like shortages or like surpluses where like a bunch of the doses go to waste, it's like yeah, well you were responsible for that too, weren't you? Or you played a role in that anyways. And how do they determine vulnerable populations? Were they also forced to identify kids as a vulnerable population and that's why we had all this stuff?
Mm.
Or were they the ones that initially like actually said it? Or were they told? Like who knows? There's no transparency with that. We don't know.
Absolutely not.
But you know what is never gonna go out of business? even in that kind of world, James, you're gonna like this pivot.
Yeah, I'm reading where you're going with this.
You're reading where I'm going? Yeah, graveyards. Graveyards are never going out of business.
Yeah,
Ain't that right, James?
what a very morbid segue.
Dude, I was building that up for the last half hour. You don't even know.
There it is.
I was building. I was
Graveyards,
building
man.
that. Yeah, what's it like to work at one? Must be fun. Sounds like fun from what you've told me.
It's, I don't know, fun. I don't know if fun is the right word to use. It's I don't know, man. It's just a job for the most part, and like any other, it has its like quirks, as you know, stories you've heard before, which may be reiterated here. But I don't know. At first, when I first got the job, I treated it um, with a great deal of respect. You know, even like at the services, because I don't just do like the grounds work. I'm actually there, you know, digging the graves and graveside at some services for, you know, when families want to watch the grave get filled in and so on. And I treated it with a certain level of respect and pride and, you know, I guess honor, if you want to say that. But then it kind of transitioned. It's just another job sometimes. But it does have its moments. I'll give you that. It does have its moments. It is a different atmosphere. Like I've had conversations with my coworker that are conversations you'll never have at any other job.
Yeah, because you gotta, I don't know, make sense of the absurdity of the fact that you're working around dead bodies, people that once had very fruitful or otherwise busy lives, and now you're just handling them, putting them in
Yeah.
holes.
Yeah, and that's usually the first question that comes to people's minds, right? Is like, oh, isn't it weird working around dead bodies and so on? And it's not like I'm a coroner or anything, or even preparing the bodies in like a mortuary. But yeah, it's different. I don't know. I've been, I suppose you could say, lucky enough that I haven't attended a funeral of anybody close to me. So for my first time seeing someone who was deceased was at work, and as I say, it was this woman, and she was lying there waiting for a visitation. They asked us in just to make sure she was positioned properly. On like we have these stands, like these wheeled carts we can use to move the casket around. Um, and my first reaction, it was very uncanny, you know, because my first reaction was move, breathe, do something. Like my literal first thought was breathe, bitch. Because it's very weird to see somebody not doing anything, like no finite motor skills. What the hell are you looking at?
This is the largest graveyard in the world.
They keep them above ground in like sarcophaguses.
Yeah, that's a plural. If you're rich, you can
That looks
afford
like a
shade.
city. These look like homes.
Yeah, that's what I thought they were at first.
That's what I thought you were looking at.
Yeah, because it doesn't really show. Oh, this is the graveyard. Oh, I thought this was the graveyard. I was like, oh, that's weird. Nope, this is the graveyard.
Yeah.
This whole
Whoa.
whoa.
It'd take you 15 minutes just to get to Graveside from the border.
Is there a? Oh, thank God, there's a view. Jesus Christ, they're just stacked on top of each other. It's also this image quality. What the? Is that like a thing of oil? What the?
I don't. You know what the dead need?
Motor oil. There we go. That's better. Yeah, they're literally like right beside each other.
Yeah.
All this garbage,
It-
bro. Come on. Oh my.
What
There's
are
a bag of
you-
chips.
Well, no. Here's the thing: is that these could be left by family members, and
Yeah.
just sometimes people don't pick them up.
Yeah.
Notice how it's the same water bottles.
Oh my god.
If you show up every week, drop off a water bottle, come back, show up, drop off a water bottle, like even if somebody dumps them out, if nobody's around to pick it up,
How did he get?
like
a car
honestly,
in
half of my job includes like just picking up dying flowers and a bunch of junk people leave. And when I say junk, I mean like food that's now gone bad. Like it has to go.
there? Dad always loved his triple stack McDoubles.
Well, that's the one cool thing about this job is that you actually get to learn a lot about other cultures and their kind of burial practices and customs.
Mom always loved her ice cream cakes.
Jesus Christ.
What would be the worst food do you think that a whole pizza, a whole uneaten pizza?
I've seen somebody drop off a pizza that they sat and ate it. Like
Yeah.
there's
Probably
these
like
two
a
these two
roast.
a
Pig
roast.
Pig on a spit.
Yeah, a whole brisket.
Yeah.
Like a whole side of beef.
Just a
And
dead
you're just
cow.
carving it off right there.
Just a dead like cow that was live, like not even skinned or nothing, just dead.
Just bring a whole cow. have a sacrifice. Jesus, this is getting very satanic. Is that guy falling into the? Oh no, that's just the
It's
picture.
just a photo, yeah.
That guy looks like he's falling in, like ass first.
See if there's any other photos.
So where is this?
I don't want to butcher it. Iraq. This is
You
Iraq.
don't want to butcher.
Well, it's I don't want to get my countries confused.
And then he puts the accent on. No, it's funny because I've been seeing a lot of those memes on like Instagram of like, it's called Iraq, not Iraq. And then people friggin' post themselves over and be like, I don't care.
The funniest one I've seen is a guy does that video that he clips himself with a background of a convenience store or no gas station. He's like, that's nice and all, buddy. 20 on pump 8. He's got like a case of Coronas he slams on the table. Oh, fuck. But yeah, you were saying it was uncanny. She didn't move.
Yeah, but like no movement at all. Like even when you're staring at a person who's remaining perfectly still, they're breathing, their eyes are twitching, there's small like movements. Like you can't put your hand out and be perfectly still. You know? But seeing somebody for the first time like that was, yeah. It was a little unsettling. Which I guess is to be expected. But now it's, I don't know. I've grown numb to that very fast. And and the people I work with really don't help. They really don't. Because we'll get somebody. See how casually I'm talking about this? I'm just like, we'll get somebody. This is somebody's mom or dad we're burying. And I'm just like, yeah, no, it's another one was delivered today.
Another one.
But we'll be lowering a body into a
Oh my
grave.
god,
and
it goes even here. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
Wait.
massive.
Hold on. No. That's
It's
that still
absolutely
says
massive.
cemetery.
This is still the cemetery.
There's got to be another how are there no other views? There's nothing to confirm it, but it
Because
says
it's
cemetery.
because it's Iraq. What do you mean
Well,
there's no other views?
like
You're lucky you have the one you have.
I like that you put on the accent too there. That's perfect. Oh, Toyota dealership right across from it.
Or you could get lost in there.
Oh
Imagine
yeah.
driving in there, not knowing where you're going, and just managing to take all the wrong turns to get deeper and deep. You think the world has ended. You're like, what? Just driving to hell?
Everybody died. Come on, man.
See, that tin was probably used to hold flowers or something, or a candle,
Bro.
or incense in this case.
That's just disrespectful. Do people actually turn blue when they die?
By the time I see them, they're all done up, dude. They've got a
All the
pound
makeup
and a
and
half
everything.
of makeup on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the one thing I have noticed is that every single one of them looks like they fell into a makeup kit, and not in a bad way. It's like you can just tell there's a lot of makeup.
You ever see anybody in like full clown makeup or no?
No,
That's how I'd want to be buried.
full clown. We have you on record. We have you on record, and the internet is forever. So
Yeah, that's
good
how
luck
I'd
with
want.
that.
That's how I'd want to be buried. No, I'm
You didn't.
serious.
You know what's great is that you have yet to specify what type of clown, and man, there's a whole world out there.
Oh, by all means, dude, put me as like Joker circa 2008 Dark Knight. Hell yeah, dude. Gladly.
Not done.
Gladly.
Wow. Okay, I was
Yeah,
gonna
just
say
so that
something.
open.
I was gonna say something.
You should say it. Don't be a pussy. What
I
do you
was
mean?
gonna say, man, your mom's gonna be real disappointed with me, but that's assuming you're gonna die before your mom, which is very dark. What the fuck?
That's the job does that to you, man. You're changed. You change, bro. You
I'm
change.
just expecting everybody to be dead.
Oh, I wonder what he would look like in this casket.
Somebody knocks on my door. I open the door. Oh, another one. Like, is the body lying at the foot of my door?
Dude, that's nuts. That's all of this. Oh my, that's even up. That's not up
No.
here. You're kidding. Oh my,
Okay.
oh my.
Zoom out. You gotta zoom
So
keep,
all of
dude.
this,
It's the GTA 6 map. What?
it's all of this. This
What
whole
the hell?
area. Wow.
That's insane.
So you should go work there. They got a ton of them.
I'm good.
They got a ton of ones.
I'm good. There, look, that place is sure as shit haunted. I fucking dare you to find a more haunted place on Earth.
Oh yeah. If anywhere is haunted, it's fucking
If you
here.
stand in the middle, you just evaporate. Like it's just, the world just says no.
if you come in with a Christian cross, yeah, you just disappear immediately. Atomize. You just atomize.
Oh god.
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
bordering. Oh, that's not bordering. That's like literally like in the heart of Iraq. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's literally in the heart of it. But it's like sea.
That's
Interesting.
crazy.
Wow. Yeah, that's the largest cemetery in the world. What's the second largest? Calverton National Cemetery. Oh, probably for the army, I'd bet, or the Marines. Oh, this is the one where they take soil from Normandy, from the beaches, and rub it against the white headstones. Whoa, that's quite big. Are there any street views here? There's gotta be. Really, nothing.
You see the name of that
Wow.
pond on the left?
Deep. I wonder how deep of a pond is it. That's
It's
a
just
deep
called
pond.
Deep Pond.
That's a deep pond.
Somebody saw that and was like, "Shit, that's a deep pond," and they're like,
That's a
"Oh,
deep
we'll
pond.
name it that."
Is there really? Okay, how far do you think the nearest McDonald's is? Hold on, we were just there. Oh, there it is. That's not too bad. Calverton National Cemetery. What is that? 10 minutes? 15 minutes? Oh, that's not bad. It's pretty close.
Planning a route to McDonald's from a cemetery.
I don't know. I was just thinking what's more American? Well, cemetery. Oh, sorry, McDonald's.
Cemetery. Okay. There should be a
Um,
McDonald's right in the middle.
That's so strange though. Nobody's gotten a photo ever, huh?
It's
Or a video, sorry, or
it's
like Street
probably
View.
what this is Google Earth or whatnot.
Yeah, Google Maps.
Yeah, it's probably not permitted or something. Oh,
kinda
those
weird.
monuments are very small.
Yeah. Well, if it's for the army, you know.
Well, I didn't realize they were that small. They look bigger on TV.
Like these. Yeah,
That's a huge monument. Holy
pound
shit.
of makeup. No, I would actually want to be a clown because I don't. If it's an open casket, I don't want anyone to be able to come up to that and cry. They would have to laugh, like just the most absurd thing ever. I don't want. I've had this like thought for the longest time. Like if anybody's sad at my funeral, they're getting kicked out like immediately.
If anybody's sad,
Yeah. I don't want anyone having a sad time. Dude, I'm gonna have fucking open bar. I'm gonna have fucking bouncy castle. What else? What else is like fun? Have a pool table. Hell
a
yeah, we'll have a
bouncy.
pool
You have a bunch
table.
of geriatrics on a bouncy castle.
Bouncy castle. Fine, whatever. What do old people like? Some saltwater taffy. We'll have
What
like
do old people like?
ton of saltwater taffy. We'll have a petting zoo. Yeah, bro. I don't want my fucking funeral to be sad. I don't know. I've just every time I've connected it like a passing of a family member uh in a family setting, it's always just been this like sad, awful thing. And I get it. I'm not saying like, oh well, why are they so sad? That's fucking weird. Like I'm not a psychopath. I
You should be
get it.
pleased.
Yeah, no, like I get it, but I just I would want my thing, my little goodbye to be a celebration and a slice of life, and I don't want it to linger on the fact that I'm not there. I would want it to linger on the fact that I had fun, and dark morbid shit should be funny because that's the best way to get through it.
No, that's fair. I've heard that same argument from my dad. He's like, you're not allowed to cry at my funeral. Everyone must be happy. Buy them all sandwiches or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
He goes, play some crazy music. He goes, it better be a freaking dance party.
Yeah, everybody's getting a scratch off. Loot bags, fucking gift cards. It's fucking drain my
Loot
savings.
bags. Yo,
Everything.
thanks for playing,
bro. Everything, bro. Everything. Bunch of merch or some shit. Yeah, dude. Fucking go all out. Yeah, that's the best way, man. That's how I would want to approach it. Is like
the problem is that it's not up to you.
No, but I'd want that. I want that in my will. I want
yeah.
that in my will. Like here's $1 million, and it's gonna go towards like funding this, or otherwise it's gonna get burned on a raft, and you guys are gonna have to watch it as part of my sad funeral. You pick the funeral.
A bowman light it with a fire arrow.
Yeah. Just a floating piece of wood on
just a mortar.
Yeah.
Just watch the whole boat explode in the middle of the water.
Yeah, load it with fireworks. Absolutely. Oh man.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of like why I like traditions like is it the Japanese that do the paper lanterns?
I think it's Chinese, but
is it the Chinese that do the paper lanterns? Yeah, I may have had that backwards.
Maybe both, who knows?
Either way.
Holy shit. That's a cemetery.
it seems like a cool send off. It's kind of like fireworks, but a little more respectful in that manner and a little bit personalized. It's cool. It's too bad that it litters so much.
Why are we tilted? I don't like this perspective. Who the fuck?
I tilted.
Yeah, this is a graveyard too. It's in Germany, in Hamburg.
I was gonna ask if this was also a military.
Maybe a
Military.
portion of it. Yeah, that's pretty big. It's like all of that basically.
Yeah, that's still pretty crazy.
Which Asian culture sets off lanterns to commemorate death? Let's find out. Chinese.
Okay, so kudos to the Chinese.
I think there's a video
Like,
of
that's
one
cool.
of these.
I think that's cool.
I think there's a video of one of these hitting the power lines.
Okay, well,
Oh yeah. Is this it?
you're not even Chinese. You want to know why? Because he's not Chinese.
Oh no, it's just flying away.
Oh.
What is this music? Oh, just missed the power lines. Jesus Christ.
It's already on there.
Is
he?
He's watering it. That is not a good idea.
Is he watering it?
Yeah.
Oh, I
trying to
can't even tell what's happening. Oh yeah, okay.
That's not a good idea. Unless that hose is like 100% rubber.
Yeah, that line's probably telephone.
I would hope so.
Being that low to the ground, it's telephone. That's the thing they didn't tell you as a kid. Is that when you see a hydro pole, those lines that are like, 10 feet above your head, those are fine. You can grab onto those, no problem.
Well, yeah, you can touch them as long as you're not like making contact with anything else on the ground. Then yeah, you're fine.
No, they're telecommunication wire. There is no electricity passing through there.
No, I'm talking about electric wires. Like you'll be
Yeah,
fine.
the electric wires, you don't want to fuck with too much because
No, you
they'll
don't
arc
want-
to you no matter what. Like,
Yeah, but like if you gotta like hang on them like for dear life, like it's not gonna kill you. The moment that you become like,
I think that more depends how you're hanging off it.
yeah, like well, I mean like just like in the middle of like
one-handed,
of the
maybe.
line. Oh, you think two-handed would kill you?
I think two-handed could still get you.
Fair
That's
enough.
why they tell you if you're about to be struck by lightning to squat down and put your heels together.
Oh, so you just become a single conduit and you're not like standing bow-legged?
Yeah, you're not made of parts because that's where electricity kills you.
True.
Because it'll travel through you. This way, at least has a more straight line, trying to avoid your heart.
Hey, more business for you though. Either way.
Yeah, hell yeah, let's go lightning. It's been slow these last couple. You know what's funny? I had this joke pop into my head today. I was like, it's been slow these last couple of weeks. Well, time to go drum up some business, boys. Click click.
Cesis, if you're listening.
That's the crazy. Is like I could literally be a serial killer and get away with it.
Oh, so you're
Like
digging deeper
if
into
you
it. Okay.
if you work at a cemetery, you could honestly get away with murder.
Probably.
I don't know how shit's not more heavily regulated, to be honest with you.
Yeah, like scanning people so that like background checks and all that, and getting a character
No,
witness.
not even background checks, man. Just how about like a witness or somebody, Because when we're filling in a grave, sometimes it's just us. And if it's an unclaimed, somebody whose family wasn't able to pay for a proper burial service, so it's supplemented by the state, it's basically just a hole we dig, and there's nobody else around, and then we lower you down and fill you in ourselves. How hard would it be for me to stack another body on top of them before burying them?
Or just fuck with it.
Okay.
I
Well,
didn't say
first of
fuck
all,
it. I said fuck with it. There's
first
a
of all,
difference.
still,
Well, no, but that's what I mean. Like, that's also my concern. It's like, what if that just happens as a regular
oh,
occurrence? Like, why is it that they don't screen people better for the job? Because you could be hiring like a fucking perv.
oh, they hire fucking anybody, dude.
That's what I mean.
A bunch of the guys that I meet, these are just Joe Schmoes who would otherwise be working at Walmart. Like, they're the same kind of people.
That's what I mean. It's like, wouldn't you want to screen people then? Because that's like kind of fucking concerning. You would think that they would.
Yeah, I was hired on the spot with no background check, but I needed to go through like a bunch of paperwork for UPS. So when it comes to our products,
We have more
we need to
care
see if
than
you're
how
a
we
criminal.
bury. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely the one thing. One of the bigger things I've noticed about the job is that it's it's a necessity. Like there's no other way of saying it. It's a job that needs to be done. If it doesn't get done, society has problems. There's a reason we bury our dead. There's a reason we learned to properly dispose of our dead.
Yeah, otherwise they go into the water system. Ew.
A bunch of stuff, disease for one, yeah.
Remind me again. How is it that babies are buried?
Pretty much the same way people are buried, or adults, or however you. We have a specific section for them. We designate it as baby land. It has like a small marble statue in the middle of like a kid with angel wings. Um, some of them have headstones. A lot of them don't. And generally, I find the area is very unkept. I'm hoping that's because we don't get a lot of them. I mean, over the course of the year, roughly, I've been there. I think we've buried. I mean, if we're talking about infants in Babyland, then probably 4, which isn't a lot, but still. Yeah, no, my first experience with burying a dead infant was like pretty. You know what? It was traumatic, but it was really fucking irritating more than anything else. So basically, what happens with an adult when it's quote unquote unclaimed, all right, let's start there, is well, quote unquote unclaimed, that's how we label them. They're delivered by some of the funeral directors from the funeral home, just usually in the back of a um oh, what is it, it's like a Dodge van. I can't remember the name right now. um it's just a blacked out van, you know. Usually 4 people show up. These will be the pallbearers, because you really only need 4, one person on each corner. These people are usually older in age too, so the more the merrier. But it's just a hole in the ground. We don't put out any carpets, so we have like astroturf that we'll throw out there, like faux grass, um, to cover the walkways alongside of the grave, and most of the other structure we build up. But we don't do any of that for these guys. Sometimes we'll use like the bad lowering device. So sometimes our lowering device will break and it won't lower like nice and slow. It'll just kind of plummet straight down to the ground if you're not holding the handbrake.
Jesus
Uh,
Christ.
yeah, because there's no family, there's no need for presentation, right? We're just getting the job done. Put them in the ground, bury them, and walk away. And these people, the vast majority of the time, never have family members that buy them like a grave marker of any kind. So these people get grass and a aluminum number block that lets us know where in the grid this individual is buried. But the first baby we had come in, I already knew by this point that we had a smaller lowering device specifically for infant coffins, and we have the piece of astroturf that goes around it that makes it look nice and so on. And by this point, we had some pretty large services already for certain individuals who are like community leaders or some tragedies and so on. So I've seen almost 120 people gather in this fairly small cemetery. It's going to grow. It's going to be a lot bigger than it is now, but at the moment, we're probably sitting on 20 acres, maybe 25. I don't know. Oh yeah, they're just like normal caskets. I've seen the white ones as well. Not in service, but they have like a display within the main office.
That just looks like a shoebox.
See, that picture right there. That's pretty much what we got, is the shoebox. So I'm expecting this big. Oh, those look like takeout containers from McDonald's.
I was literally just gonna say.
Those are horrible. Okay. That looks like a salt bin.
Would you like your takeout container in blue?
Okay. No, but that. Oh, there you go. If you go to the white on the go 2 over to the left, the white ones with the handles. So it's like that, except it's a shoebox.
Drawer? That's a cabinet drawer.
It's a cabinet drawer. I didn't even see that. Good eye. But the first infant that we had coming in, I was a little nervous about, because I hadn't buried one yet. I didn't know the process of what was going on. I didn't know how big it was going to be. If it was big enough, odds are they'd want to see it filled in. So, I'd have to do my job in front of all these people and blah, 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 blah.
Look, it's a baby's casket.
That's not a baby. It fits in the palm of her hand.
Yeah, baby casket.
A baby at what trimester?
No, it's a miniaturized version of a casket.
What?
That's why they're calling it a baby casket. It's like some
Oh.
Etsy shit. Yeah.
Ha very funny. I'm talking the literal here. I work with this shit.
$200.
$200. Oh, there's only one left. You have 2 in your basket. You should buy them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so the first time we had an infant, like, I expected it to be the big thing. So we went out and we dug the hole, and we dug the hole by hand, because it's only a 1 foot by roughly 2. No, it's a foot by a meter, so 1 by 3. Little more though, because we don't know the size of the infant that's coming in, because I don't know the age range for being buried in that particular section, or even if there is one, because I'm assuming that Babyland isn't just exclusive. Like, it's not like plots you can buy, but it's also treated as unclaimed, right? And I don't have to assume that, because I know that. I don't know why I said that. Okay. Because the first infant we got, we dug the hole, and I think it was roughly 3 feet deep, 2.5 feet deep. And then I went out with my coworker and we started doing other things around the cemetery, around the grounds. And then all of a sudden, this black Impala passes us, and there's just one older gentleman in it. He works at the other location, and so we roll up. We say, "Hey, what's going on?" We have a bunch of tools in the back. We're on our way to go, install a marker or flower vase or something. And he goes, "Yeah, you guys are good to go. They're in there." And that took me back a bit. I was like, "What? Like, this is literally a dead baby." And I think this is the part where I started to become a little desensitized to the job now that I think about it, because like that's a bit of a shock to anybody. You can say how like hard of a man you are and blah blah. We're talking about dead babies, dude.
They're in there.
And this guy drives over and just says, "All right, they're in there. Like they're ready to go for you. They're all set." Oh, all righty. So I kind of look over at my coworker and he looks at me and we kind of look at each other for a second because even he wasn't expecting that. And he's been there for like 14 years or something. And so we turn around and we get everything we need. We come back and sure enough, there's the white shoebox. And I was livid. Like I was openly pissed while we were filling in this grave. I was like, this is the service they get? Like nothing, not even anything from us? Like for example, there's a funeral home um that is strictly Catholic, and even when they brought an unclaimed body, their people would say a prayer, and then pour the sign of the cross with sand on top of the casket and bury them into the ground. And there's questions that come with that, right? Because ultimately, were they Catholic? Did they believe? Were they a follower of a different religion? You don't know, So there's a whole lot of you know if, ands, and buts about actually performing the act. But at the end of the day, it's still nice to say something, that like their family's not there, their friends aren't there. Like, I don't know if they even had any, but we don't know anything about this individual, but it would be nice to say something. And now we're talking about a dead baby. And at the end of the day, the parents didn't even show up. Like, I can understand being devastated over the loss of a child. Absolutely. But I don't know about not showing up for their burial. And that's not even the only one that's happened. And that baby has the same aluminum number block as the unclaimed over in section K. Like we have them labeled off. Some in letters and some in numbers for whatever reason. I don't know. But just, yeah, basically what I would consider like an unmarked grave.
Yeah,
And I've
costs
had,
2 to 3K.
I think, what costs 2 to 3K?
Unclaimed burials. I just looked it up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And that's not even a whole lot of money to put somebody in the ground. Then that's not what we receive either.
I think this answers your question right here. Cost of a funeral is too high. They can't afford to do a funeral.
Oh, absolutely. But the thing about unclaimed burials is that they can do what's called instead a social service. So it's essentially an unclaimed burial, except the social service allows us to know that family members are going to show up. It happens. An unclaimed will be showing up, and instead of unclaimed, it will say social service, which means, okay, there's going to be people showing up. So now we put out the carpets, we make it look nice. We use the nice lowering device. We, clean it up all good. We make sure that the hole we dug is nice and clean looking, doesn't have any water in it, blah, blah, blah. Because there's going to be family there.
Dude,
I saw one where it was just his uncle and his son that showed up.
to bury someone in Toronto Midtown, 34K. I don't know
Oh, yeah.
exactly what cemetery this is.
It is expensive. Burials are absolutely a huge expense.
I know exactly what cemetery this is.
Like, here's the thing: there are plots that we have that are in. I don't want to say good sections, but they're in like paid for sections, which is kind of like death premium. I don't know. Coco?
Yeah.
Man, whoever Coco was,
Yeah, huge. 2 benches.
huge. Huge. No, you don't even understand how big that is. If that's actually a memorial for a family or an individual, that's huge. Probably on the top of Everest or something.
Let's see the most expensive one. Yeah, Everest.
You can't afford death at Shanghai's most expensive cemetery. Oh, no, these are the most expensive tombs.
Shanghai.
Yeah.
50K.
Yeah, but we have people who are in
What?
like
This
bought
must be it.
sections and they still don't have even a foundation poured for a monument. Odds are because the family can't afford it. They could afford buying them a nice plot and putting them in the ground, maybe having a nice service, but they can't afford buying them a marker.
Oh, here it is. Really? Nothing? Not a single one?
No, again, it's probably disrespectful.
This is unreal. I want to see it.
You're trying to break like taboos here.
Well, I'm curious. What do you want me to do about it? Jesus. Fucking Google. Yeah, that is insane. Yeah, that is strange that the parents didn't show up. Maybe they didn't know about the social.
I've buried 4. Only one has shown up. One set of
Yeah.
parents has shown up. And they showed up alone. Like,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, mad respect to them because those 2 had the balls to be there for their kid
Well, you gotta be.
with no support. 3 out of 4. That's kind of
Depressing.
unless there were other complications with the mother at the hospital or like I don't even know the circumstances of these children.
Yeah, and who knows if they even knew about the social service. I don't even know, like, do they even tell you about that as an
I'm
option?
sure.
Or they just tell you about a price? I don't know.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If it's a social service, if it's an unclaimed, the parents aren't paying a dime.
Yeah, that's what I
That's
mean.
the
Though, like,
Canadian government.
maybe they literally just don't know. I want to believe that instead of the alternative, which is people aren't showing up for their dead kids. You know.
Fair, fair. I don't know the circumstances. I can't speak on it. Like I said, there could be a myriad of reasons why they're not there. One of them simply being lack of information. And like I said, in the moment, I know it's hard. Like lack of coherence can also be a factor, but in my opinion, I don't know if
There
that's
we
enough of
go.
an excuse.
The Americans did it right. They got Street View. Holy shit. Damn. Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, these are big money families.
These are dynasties right here.
If you can buy
Jesus.
yourself a little
Castle.
mausoleum,
There's so many of them. It's big enough to have a 2-lane road. Woolworth. As in, like, hold on. Like, this guy? Like, this guy?
Does it
Where's he
say he's
buried?
resting in Woodland? You just missed it.
Yeah, that's it. Holy shit. Yeah, there's like a big department store back then. I'm pretty sure it's still around. Yeah, they're on the stock exchange. Oh, until 1997. No, now they're a Foot Locker. Oh. That's funny. Whoa, United Kingdom, Ireland, Canada, Gambia. I think it's, no, German. Mexico. Why did I say Mexico? Jeez.
Mexico. You know what my favorite country is?
Mexico.
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 Ma'am, I will take one cerveza in the Mexico, please.
Interesting. Wow. Yeah, so that's the guy that's buried there. Yeah, it's interesting to see if life in Canada becomes so fucking bad that people can't even bury their dead. Because that one article seemed to think so.
They'll just tax us all harder.
Okay, this is interviewing a person in a political party. I want to hear from the groundskeepers and the people that actually work there. Okay, there we go. Anywhere from 2 to 12K. GoFundMe's helped. Yeah, good. GoFundMe is just facilitating what would have happened before. It's just now that it's international. People would have gone to their neighborhood, their neighbors, school teachers, everyone they ever knew. That's why we are strengthening the Canada pension plan to provide a top up to the death benefit. Jeez. Yeah, this is a political piece. Fucking Christ. Oh, it's always about politics. Always.
The pension plan that we all pay into with our taxes.
That's why we're subsidizing people's graves.
Yep. What does a cremation cost in Canada, by the way?
Let's see. For a pet, it's under 1,000. Only about 600 or so.
Yeah, but you keep them. I'm talking about people who get put away.
No. You don't. That's not even keeping them. That's just for the cremation and the euthanasia. If your pet is dead on arrival, it'll cost you 600 for the cremation and to get the ashes back. If you just want to get rid of the pet because you can't afford to bring the ashes back, but you need to euthanize them, then that's also like around 600. So all in all, if you need to euthanize, cremate, and get the ashes back and process all that, almost $900 probably.
Okay.
Sometimes people bury.
How much to just So question: if I bring in my dead pet and give them to you, and say I can't take the ashes home, you're not charging me anything?
No, we still need to like get as much money as possible for the cremation because that body has to go somewhere and it's not just going to stay in storage. They got to cremate it. So there's a general cremation that you can get where you don't get the ashes back, but there's 3 different charges: euthanasia, cremation, and getting your ashes back. Getting your ashes back means the ashes have to be processed, put in an urn or whatever the fuck. That's a separate charge. So all those 3 things are a separate charge. And here's the thing about veterinary clinics, people. Drop it a little secret. The goal of every transaction is to get as much money from you as possible, in the sense of like, in the finances. I'm not saying that like the people don't care or they don't give a shit. Actually, no. A lot of these people are in my opinion, one way or another, either desperate for work, so they will pick up shit after your dogs that are having, I don't know, some intestinal surgery or whatever the fuck. They're saints. They're dealing with like the most disgusting of fucking situations. I walk back there during my shift sometimes, and the smell is so fucking rank, and they're just sitting there in it the whole time. You're at your computer, and there's a dog vomiting, or a dog crashing, or a cat with something stuck in its anus, or whatever the fuck. They are just, the fact that they can put up with it. Is crazy, and they get paid so little. The animal handlers, doctors and techs and whatnot. That's a different story, but um, yeah, those people, they a lot of them do give a shit. So I don't want to give that impression, because a lot of them love animals, and that's why they go into it. There's also some people that are just, because the job is so easy, they don't give a shit. They just need a job. But when I say we're trying to close out the transaction, I just mean like people are in distress. It's an emergency. Chances are you're not prepared for it, as most people are not, and some of them have issues with credit cards. So we try to recoup as many of the costs as possible, but with the understanding that if someone is unable to pay, we're not going to be like, okay, well, it's your responsibility to do whatever you want with the body. No, no, no. Like, doctors will comp it. Sometimes they'll take it off like the charges list, or just get as much money from you as possible. But if you're not able to comp like certain costs, they will absolutely waive that. So I'm not saying that as in like, hey, you should bring all your dead dogs to fucking emergency clinics and just not have to pay for that.
Oh,
No.
thank God. I've got so many of them. Like, what the hell?
um so I'm not saying that to like to try to like cheat the system. I am saying that in the sense that like if you just have no other option, just bring it to an emergency clinic. Those people will work with you. They will do everything they can to make sure your pet is properly taken care of. If that means no bill, then no bill. But that doesn't mean you're gonna get ashes back. To get the ashes back, you actually you got to pay for that, and that is not
No, that's fair, but
that's
I,
not cheap.
I, you, here's something I heard a long time ago, and it's just lived in the back of my head, and I always took it as gospel truth. So if I bring in my dog, right, he's already dead. Okay? All these
Yep.
animals I'm bringing in, they're already dead.
Yep.
I bring in my dog, and I want him to be cremated, and I want to take him back with me, right? You guys have a cremator on site.
Nope.
You have to send it off?
Yep.
Okay.
Bro,
So
cremation on
here's the
site. Imagine the smell in the middle of the city, bro.
No, that's fair. No, that's totally fair.
Yeah.
No, like we have a cremator right in the middle of the fucking city. We do. We got a couple of them. But so what I heard is that if I want my ashes back, right, that animal has to be cremated alone.
Yes, absolutely.
So it uses like one full rotation of the machine, right?
Yes, yes.
Which costs money to do this one animal, right?
Yep.
And then I get the ashes all by themselves. There's no other, animals in there. And I get to
Nope.
bring them home,
Yep.
right? Yes. If I bring them in, but I don't want to take the ashes home with me, or I can't afford to pay for it, when you send him off, he gets put into the cremator with as many other animals that fit in there that are in the same circumstances as he is, and then they all get incinerated.
Oh yeah, they stuff
What
that thing chock full.
what happens with the ashes after that, I don't know.
Probably put it in the ground. It's
Probably
probably good for the
dump it
water.
somewhere, probably.
Yeah. They might
So
even
you
they
think
might
so
even
that
send
so
it off to a
so you
fertilizer
agree with
company.
that? That's how it works.
Yep.
Okay, so why should I have to pay you to take my dead dog off my hands to never have his ashes? That seems weird to me.
Because there's
I almost feel like that should be state compensated. Like,
there's still a charge. Like somebody has to drive over here to pick up the body. They have to drive back to the facility. They have to put there's people that are involved in the process that are using labor, and not just labor, but like resources. Like they're not just like, it's not as if that electricity that they use or fire or whatever the hell process they have to process all that. It's not as if like it's
you don't
free.
think that should be subsidized?
Fuck no. Fuck no.
Why?
No.
Why?
I don't think that any part of
Aside from the taxes shit, like why?
well, that being the number one thing, but I don't think none of that should absolutely be subsidized because if you're not getting the ashes back, um, let me put it this way. I don't think it should be subsidized because I don't think that's a problem that government needs to solve. I think subsidies should be used in a very, very, very limited way with a like
Well,
specific idea in scope. I think that
mhm.
that literally just like it's not much. It's $300. Like you can make that in a week working like a decent job. And I get it that like times are tough and all that, like cost of living and okay, fine, I get
Well,
it. But
that's the thing is like I'm grieving and I don't have the money to keep their ashes, and I'm feeling really bad about that.
sorry.
But now I gotta pay you $300.
Well, if you can't afford it, then like I said, it doesn't
And
like the bill gets wiped. But if you can afford it, yeah, we will absolutely take that money from you.
okay, so if I walk in there and I can't afford it, that's it. You'll just take the animal.
Yeah. Yeah, we take the animal and it gets sent off to a cremation facility and we eat the
Okay, so it
cost.
still happens anyways. But
Yeah,
yeah, you eat the cost on that.
we eat the cost. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it might as well be subsidized.
Fuck no.
And you were saying earlier that government subsidies should be very, kind of stringently used. And it's like this is a very unique situation. There is no other situation that compares to your pet dying.
Unique, yes, but I don't think that it's a situation that warrants a subsidy because ideally you would want money back on a subsidy. You would want a subsidy to promote some kind of a business that isn't interventionist in the market.
No, I'm not. What?
I would
No,
want,
I
but
would
I'm
argue
saying
this is.
us
I would argue this is very similar to the unclaimed bodies situation. Is it not?
no, because there's no money in
Why is
that
it? Why is it different if it's a person? What?
because there's no
There
there's no
could be money in
return.
it.
There's no return on what's the return on the investment on the government putting in this money? What money do they get back from it? Nothing. It goes
From
into the
what?
ground.
Subsidizing? Yeah.
Yes, it quite literally goes into the ground, and that's it.
Yes. But it fills a need. Ultimately,
Sorry,
it's the
make
need for disposal,
make more money.
like to boil it down.
Make more money. That's my
Make
solution to it.
more money.
Yeah, that's hey,
Make
I yeah.
more money.
Yeah. I
Did
I
you
yeah, I
what?
understand that's cold hearted. I'm saying like to the person that has to
Make
deal with that situation.
more money. Okay,
Make
so
more money.
civilization's gonna die with that fucking prospect because there's gonna be dead bodies all over the streets.
No, I look, what I'm saying is as it stands right now, like because as when you say it like, oh, like ignore like the taxes argument, I have a very hard time going
Well, that's what I'm
against that
saying. I'm trying to
because
take this with an
because
argument of morality more than anything.
okay, well, morally speaking, like yeah, absolutely, it would be great if the government paid for everything.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
Like
the
yeah,
fact that the
absolutely,
government well,
communism,
no,
let's
no,
go,
but that's the
dude.
thing. The fact that the government subsidizes a human burial and stills allow visitation, like I said, in the terms of the social service,
Yeah, that's a good thing.
like that's
I agree
that's a
with you.
good thing. Sure, the
Yeah,
money goes into the fucking ground, but it's a good thing. First of all,
absolutely.
we're keeping society healthy by disposing of this biohazard. Second of all, you're performing a service for the family, regardless of how, skeleton it seems in comparison to some extravagant shit you see in a movie. And
I
at the
agree
end of
with
the day,
you.
you're still
Yeah,
providing that family with, some semblance of closure and some respect for the individual. I mean,
yeah.
I see no problem subsidizing that. So then you bring it over to animals and now
Could
you
give
see
less
it
of a shit.
different.
Could give less of a shit.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I hope your pet in question isn't listening. As a matter of fact, I hope they claw your ankles.
He's sleeping. He's sleeping sound. He's gonna be sleeping in a couple years too. It's okay. Um,
Jesus.
no, dude. I look morally, absolutely, 100%. Some people like they
Just that
they
part. If
they
you want to keep
genuinely,
the ashes, you got to pay.
yeah. I
100%. If you
I
got to have them
yeah.
euthanized, you got to pay the 100%. Like
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Morally, I think it's great, but practically speaking, in terms of actually implementing this, like the only way, right? The only way that I would agree with this getting implemented in Canada nationwide is if our tax dollars have already been used properly for everything else. Like, okay, this is the way that I put it. There's certain things in society that we can all have so long as we agree to a certain social contract. If we play by the rules and if we're nice to each other and if we hold some kind of shared values and people don't mind getting taxed. Like I would love it if food banks were more were less of a private citizens like donation and volunteer incentive and if it was more government run or at least like government supported. It would be great if we had more of that. If homeless shelters weren't overrun, if we didn't have all these problems with these random attacks of violent individuals happening on the streets, yeah, I would love it if we lived in a current state where our tax dollars weren't just getting fucking thrown to the wind. That's when you, in my opinion, that's when you can get to a place where you can subsidize cool shit like free university or pet cremations or what have you. Like that's when you have a society that can actually function and people make enough money and the taxes go to the right things so people aren't like pissed off. Like there's one guy I spoke to when I was doing the artist interviews, he told me that he went to school in Switzerland, paid four not even like close to $4,000 for his entire tuition through his entire studies. Not for a semester like it is here in Canada, right? Like literally like for his entire fucking time in university cost him like 4,000 of whatever his currency is, right? Like that's great because they have a social contract where they agree that university is a need because the industries and businesses benefit from it in the nation and everyone wins. The students don't have to stress and so on and so forth. That's because they actually have, proper use of their taxes. They can afford to do that. We can't fucking do that, dude. We're having a hard time paying for fucking street repairs and we're sending money off to Ukraine and Ghana and God knows wherever else. So yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I would love for this to be something that the government actually like just funds, not even directly like gets involved in, doesn't choose the businesses. There's no like contract. No, just throw money at it. Just throw money at it. Give people some peace of mind. Make it so that their last moments of a pet's life aren't fucking traumatic because the owner can't be there or they're not there. They just can't afford it or what have you. So the person isn't worrying about money in their last hours of their pet's life. Like every time I go into like to talk to these people, I'm half expecting them to be like broken down and whatnot, and I'm just sitting there like the biggest asshole in the world, trying to make this transaction go as fast as possible because I know they don't want to deal with me. I know they don't want to see me, but I need to collect money. There's a service we have to pay. I have no choice. This is my job. This is what I'm here to do. You can call me an asshole, but fucking what? I don't give a shit. I get it. You're having a shit day, to say the least. Okay, this is something that you spent years of your life with, maybe even grew up with it. I don't know what that pet means to you. So yeah, I agree with you. Morally, absolutely. Yeah, I would love it if Canada was in a place where we could do that, but we can't.
That's a fair way to put it.
Like as it stands, if the government like we woke up tomorrow and the government announced it as a new policy, I'd be like, oh great, an extra fucking percent on my taxes. That's awesome,
Yeah.
fantastic, like great. And now especially like because we're not doing it in a place of economic prosperity, we're doing it from a place of like just I don't know trying to win votes or whatever the fuck. It's not even an opportune time, so God knows what would happen to those cremation chambers. Because as we were talking even before the podcast, right, about how this park was built, how government contracts are abused by the contractors at times. What do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna create bigger
Mm,
ovens. They're gonna make it a whole fucking yeah. Now we get government money to do this. Hell yeah. Besides just private money, because now they're not just gonna have the money that people already pay. Now they're gonna
uh,
get a guaranteed check from the government for every body
yeah,
that's sent their way. Like
yeah.
that creates a very very nasty incentive, and I don't like that. I think right now if that was implemented, there would be a lot of bad. as an idea, yeah, I'm right there. I'm right there, man. I see those people fucking every time I work, just about every time. Like, it's painful. The
Yeah.
last thing you should be worrying about is money. Like, absolutely. Like, I started telling people like 2 years in, I realized this. I was like, oh, you don't have to tell us what you want to do with the body for 2 days. If you want to take 2 days to just think about it, by all means, you don't have to make this decision right now. We hold the body for 2 days, and then they call in whenever they can, and then we go from there. Because I realized, like, yeah, I'm sick and tired of telling like people you have to make the decision right this second. Like, dude, they can't get together. They can't even get their sentences together. Half these people are bawling their eyes out. I'm not fucking doing that.
Yeah, I can empathize with that.
No, absolutely, dude. The pet industry is fucked. It actually is. The amount of times I've had a doctor like say, "Oh, sorry, I made a mistake on the bill. Let me just take off this 400." And I'm like, "Dude, this 400 was fucking that could be anything to anybody. Some of these people that's everything, especially these
Yeah.
days. Like unless somebody asked like to double check a bill, like dude, yeah. Absolutely. Always especially in a hospital setting. Always ask for the bill. Always. Always ask to check it because they're going to look it over and they're going to remove some things. Always ask for the bill. Always. Especially at veterinary clinics. Always question them. It doesn't matter if it's a headache. Doesn't matter if you got to wait for the doctor for a half hour. Do it. You can save yourself some money because sometimes they do fuck up.
I was gonna say earlier, I feel bad for the son of a bitch who ever asks me to pay $300 to have my dog cremated and I can't take home his ashes.
Yeah, dude, it's
He
it's a
gets
bit of a
one
weird
chance.
one.
He gets one chance.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird situation because like the thing is the doctors aren't always right either. It's just like public health. It's the same thing. They're just as flawed. They're just trying to make the best decisions and they don't always know what's right or what's wrong.
Oh shit, my bad. He's alive.
Well,
What?
not to that extreme, but sometimes yeah, doctors will like make recommendations that a pet has to get euthanized earlier than it does. You know?
Oh yeah, no, that's yeah. But I feel like that's I don't know. I feel like that's kind of excusable. We're humans. We're not perfect.
No, absolutely, but like
We're as
just
close as
you know,
possible, but yeah.
there's just a lot about the industry, like, and I'm talking about like the pet industry in general, like pet food, pet like litter, all that shit. Like, there's 99% of it is actually hazardous to your animals and is like actively contributing to their death. But because it's the cheapest thing that people have, they'll just buy it, and you get
Um,
fooled by labels so much, like in terms of what's in the food. Like I've had to be real selective with mine because like um there's just so much random chemicals that they put in like the food. It's like, yeah, that's not good for them, man. Like my
is
cat, my cat will beg for like table scraps, and I'll give it to him gladly. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad you're eating this better than your kibble or whatever.
yeah. Is Imes still a big brand? Like food name brand?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, for dogs, I don't really see a lot of their stuff for
Okay.
cats, but I'm sure they have. Yeah, they do have cat food. Yeah.
We when we had our first dogs, we were feeding them Imes in the early years of their life. And then we came to realize that their coats were getting so greasy.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, what the hell's going on? We changed their food. We never went back. It was like, we don't know what was the hell was in there, but it was having like a physiological effect on our pet's health.
Oh,
That is
absolutely.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not here
No.
to
No.
slander Imes, but like, this was years ago, but still.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same as eating cereal, man. They make it to be low cost. They just grind up like whatever meat they have. Like unless you're buying from some kind of like a health food brand that is like limited ingredients or has no additives, no like artificial colors, nothing like that, and you gotta scour for them because not even all of those are made in the same quality. Um, but yeah, like sourcing pet food is yeah, it's absolutely vital. Because like most of the shit that they get brought in for, unless it's like a hereditary thing, like German shepherds with their hind legs or their hips,
Mhm.
um, Yeah, a lot of the issues like pets get brought in for, it's because of their environment. It's whatever they're eating, whatever they're drinking. Like even like tap water, like that shit is not good for male cats because cats are not supposed to have water in general. They get water from their food. They don't get it from drinking water. Um, and I'm pretty sure like the combination of their like the average cat's diet and drinking tap water, it helps calcify the urethra, which creates those crystals. And then when they
Mm.
pee, it fucking stings. So they
Yeah.
so they yowl.
Hmm.
I'm no scientist. Don't fact check me on that.
I
But
don't know. I've never had a male cat. My grandmother does, but I don't know. She may give it Brita water, if that
yeah,
helps.
I mean, I don't know like for a fact what chemical reaction causes this, but it's like it's a very common thing that does happen to cats, and I don't think that's normal because like there's no way that cats would have this in nature, like a wild cat that's not living in the
No, I
city, like
I
just out
don't
in the
believe
wild.
that's
There's
normal.
no way, dude. They would die, or you can't urinate. Okay, so then your bladder bursts. Great, and it leaches into your body, and you slowly die of the most agonizing death ever. You have no bladder; it goes directly into your body. Like there's no exit. Like what? Cats would have
Yeah,
gone extinct if that was a thing.
100%.
No, it has to be a product of the modern environment. There's no way that's a real thing. And it costs so much to treat. Oh my god, thousands. Don't even get me started on diabetes. Jesus Christ, we've had a couple diabetic cats come through.
Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, that's
What
not
do you
even
have
because
to be
they're fat.
feeding a cat to make it diabetic?
I don't know, but it's not even because of their weight. That's the thing. I think it's just genetics. Like
Oh,
some of them
I'm
just turn out
imagining these
diabetic.
fucking giant puff balls with like 4 flippers rolling into the fucking clinic.
You would think so, but no. I mean, if I look up a photo of like a diabetic cat, I don't even think it's gonna give you a
It's definitely gonna give you a fat cat.
yeah.
Some of them aren't fat.
Well, like some of these are just like they're just placeholders for like identifying symptoms and yada yada yada. So they just use whatever like cat photo. But yeah,
And then you have fat cats. Yeah, you
this one
know.
doesn't look too big.
No, that tabby's kind of big.
Yeah, he's huge.
He's fucking chonky.
Jesus Christ, that actually looks like mine, but definitely he's a lot skinnier. Yeah, when you can see a cat rolling over itself, that's oh god,
Ay, ay, ay.
that poor animal.
I hope that's photoshopped.
It's not.
What's he doing outside?
Probably in the backyard or something.
He's freaked the fuck out right now. He doesn't
Oh,
belong there.
also, yeah, if you can let out your cat outside, absolutely do that.
Not that cat. That cat's been inside for fucking 20 years.
Oh no, the coyote's gonna get him.
Chowing down.
Coyote's,
Coyote's gonna get.
coyote's
Coyote
just
ain't hunting that. There's too much fat on him.
coyote's just sticking a
Not worth
straw
it.
into that fucker, just drinking him like a Slurpee.
Nature's liposuction.
But yeah, you asked about a cremation. It's anywhere between 840 to 3,000.
Okay. So I'm slowly beginning to understand why I'm seeing so many cremations.
Because they cost less.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have to buy a small plot, but those areas are filling up quickly, or they're already bought out.
So when do you actually replace the plots?
Say again?
When do you replace the plots?
What, what do you mean?
Well, isn't there going to be a point where like you guys run out of room, you're going to have to take out bodies?
No, absolutely not.
How much room is there?
We don't exhume bodies when we run out of room.
What are you doing? You run out of room.
Open another cemetery somewhere else.
Do you think we can keep doing that forever?
No. No, I do not. I mean, thank God Canada has a lot of land mass. Big thumbs
Oh my
up.
god, we're gonna have water graveyards eventually.
And remember, not everybody that dies in Canada is buried in Canada.
Oh, they fly out the bodies?
Oh, yeah. We've had people fly in bodies.
What?
One guy showed up. He was still in his crate. He was in a wooden crate that was like plastered with like flight labels and stickers and shit.
That's wild.
I totally forgot about that guy.
Let's see, how much does it cost to fly a dead body into Canada? My search history is gonna get me arrested, man.
Oh, man. Why are you flying the body into Canada is the bigger question.
Well, I wanted to know, but you're
I think you're safe on that end. I think if you put flying out of Canada, it would have been a lot worse.
bro, 20K. Holy shit.
And that's not even funeral expenses. That's just moving the body.
Yeah, this is the additional cost in bombing, specialized shipping containers, airline transport,
Oh, yeah.
customs, receiving. Oh, from provinces, it's actually cheap. Anywhere between 3 and 10K. I wonder what kind of an airplane they fly on. Do you think it's just like a coach flight? They just like have them in the bottom there in the box?
Probably, yeah. Probably stuffed in a cargo hold somewhere. On whatever flight is heading in that direction, probably.
Interesting. What's the craziest shit you seen at a graveyard?
You're gonna have to define crazy shit.
You define it.
Craziest shit. I mean, one of the crazier moments we did have was one of the bigger burials where the place was absolutely swarming with cops. Because it was a gang-related shooting. That was pretty nuts. There's a lot of people there too. And the guy was so big, we had to take the handles off of his coffin to get him into the liner. Because essentially for these burger burials, we have 3 sets of liners. It's basically just a concrete box. So the lid pops off the top of it. We lower the bottom section of the liner into the grave, and then when the service is happening, we lower the casket into that concrete liner, put the lid on top, then fill it in with dirt. But this guy was so big because he apparently had like a football scholarship.
How big was he?
He was huge, man. He was probably, I think he was like 6'9", they told us. There was a lot of buzz about this funeral happening and that we were the ones doing it. So we got to talking with some of the funeral directors. And yeah, no, he was a big dude. He had a custom casket built for him. So it was wider than normal. So we had to take the handles off the sides. We had to take a drill and screw the handles off in front of like I said, probably like 100 and some people.
But the handles are outside. Why do you need to take them off if you just need to lower them in the casket?
Because they protrude farther than the sides of the casket itself. Because if you pull up a picture of a casket, you'll see that they're like ornate, right? They'll have like wider sections along the sides of the casket. See, this one is actually, the handle is recessed. See there? The handles protrude out the side. And even the one to the left of that is even better. That's
but that-
pretty close to the one.
But that means that you have to You have to
That
you have
one
to do
there.
that every time. It doesn't fit into the hole.
Correct.
Oh, okay. I thought this was
I've
like
had
a
to do
special
that 3
exception.
times now.
Oh, understood. Okay.
Yeah, but in a
You,
year, 3 times, like,
you'd think they make them all retracting. Like, how hard is it?
it's not how hard it is, it's just based on the style of the casket.
Yeah, but you'd think like just to make
The
it easier,
people
they would do it for all the caskets.
you want people who design caskets to think about the practicality of it?
Some ropes. Yo,
That's
imagine
weird.
carrying that rope burn.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I've carried caskets with ropes.
You know what? That's what I would do. That's what if you guys wanted to have a sad funeral instead, I would make it the saddest funeral. I'd make it so that my coffin was uneven. Just like have a layer, like an inch layer in the casket of like a fake wall with just like ball bearings that would just roll around.
Jesus.
rope sticky rope as the handles. uh fuck.
Ay, ay, ay.
But yeah, anyways, you were saying about the more serious incident of the guy getting buried. Yep.
Oh, yes, very serious. No, it was just the place was swarming with cops. And some guys who looked like they were on lookout, who were part of, like, the procession. I was like, "Am I gonna be involved in a gang shooting right now? Man, I'm just trying to work here."
I mean, fuck it. We're already this far into making the jokes. If
Oh, boy.
if a shooting was to happen anywhere,
Yeah,
I
no, true.
I
We also
mean
made that joke.
I mean it's right there.
Look, you have to be a little morbid to do what we do,
2 for 1.
and those jokes definitely happen.
Yeah. You guys could
Yeah.
offer a family special.
I think oh god. I was thinking about some of the craziest things that happened because I got some of those stories lined up. Should I tell the people soup story?
Oh yeah, by all means, dude. Have at it.
Oh boy. Okay. So in some of these plots, you can have what's called a lawn crypt. So you may be able to pull up a picture of a lawn crypt. Hopefully it doesn't just bring up a single. There you go. Beautiful. So essentially these are just concrete structures, little compartments that are buried in the ground. Exactly. That are buried in the ground and they remain empty um, until an individual passes and they're placed in one of these graves. So a lot of these places have 2 lots, right? You can see on the surface level, it takes up the same amount as a single lot, right? But you can put 2 bodies in here.
Yeah, it's a bunk
So a
bed.
lot of these places, yeah, a lot of these places have two lots, so they can store 4 people, like their entire family. So at one point, we have a burial to dig. We're placing somebody in the lowest compartment. So if we're placing somebody in the lowest compartment, there is nobody in the first compartment. Okay. We always stack them lowest to highest. We don't put somebody on the top level and then if somebody else dies, we take that person out. No, that doesn't happen.
Of course, yeah.
So when we get a work order, it essentially just has the name of the individual, the plot number, the day that they're being buried, the time that they're being buried, and any other relevant information. Most of the time, and relevant information, I mean by like the family wants to see it filled in. Can you leave a small amount of dirt and some shovels? They want a tent. They want so many chairs, stuff like that. And who's performing the burial service, whether it's our funeral service or an outside company doing it. So we get to this plot, mark it out, get the backhoe going, and start digging. And we dig down roughly, probably foot and a half, maybe. And then we get to the top lid. Get to the top lid. Yeah, that's a perfect angle too. Get to the top lid, hook it up with some chains, take it off. and the entire compartment is filled with water. Because when it rains, the place doesn't really have anywhere to go, right? And it's all filled with water, but it's clear water. It's fairly clear, which would be expected. But the problem I realized was that there was this smell, and when you start to work around bodies long enough, especially decomposing bodies long enough, and you run into situations where, like, you're digging a grave and the guy next door, since it rained the other day, starts kind of leaking into the grave you're currently digging, you kind of learn what these smells mean, right? So I got this familiar pungent smell, and for half a second I was still new there, so I thought, maybe it's just the smell of the water, maybe it's just the groundwater. So we take this big pump, this 2.5-inch pump, and we pump all the water out of there so I can get to the next lid. So I jump in there on top of the lid. I'm in the grave at this point, probably 4 feet deep, and I go to hook onto the next lid, and we raise it up. And surprise, surprise, there's more water. Shocker. Of course, there's going to be more water. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, why are there things floating around in it? And I saw some material and some pieces of wood, and I was like, okay, I can, like, in my mind, create some scenario that can explain everything away. I could not explain away the pair of shoes. I can't explain that away. A pair of dress shoes? Yeah, no, that's oof. You got all the makings of a dead guy in there.
People's soup.
So I look at my coworker and I'm like, is there supposed to be somebody in there? And his face goes all skewed and he goes, no. And he pokes his head out of the backhoe. And I'm like, because we got a body. So all that water we pumped out of there was essentially just that poor gentleman stewing away. And he's been in there since 2004. So he's been in there a hot second. What are you looking at? Oh no. Oh god. Oh no, that's just groundwater. This is when you're trying to bury somebody and it's rained like hell. Yep. You got to pump all that out almost immediately. Oh, there you go. That's perfect. That's exactly what it looks like. So all that water we pumped out of there was just stewed human. And when I jumped in there on top of the lid, I realized not only was, like, my boots and probably my arms rubbing up against the side of that place, but I was like 2 inches away of what I termed people soup. So it's definitely one of the grosser things that's happened. It's not the grossest. The grossest thing that ever happened to me is I almost fell into a grave. That leaking water from the grave next door. And here's the thing, when a Muslim is buried, there's no concrete that's placed around them whatsoever, not even like an upside down. I don't know the official name of an upside down. That's just what we call it. It's basically just it's basically what you're looking at here, just flipped around. Upside down. No, put upside down grave liner. No, these are actual liners. Okay, see that silver one?
Ooh, this is a cool one. What silver one?
The Triton grave liner?
This one?
Yeah. So imagine that, except a concrete box, a very simple concrete box.
Put a cap on it.
Yeah, it's just a cap. That's all it is. So Muslims don't like to be buried in those, as is their, burial rights and so on.
Palms down, straight to
So
hell.
so when we're Jesus. So when we're digging a grave next to somebody else, that casket, odds are, has collapsed because it's an air pocket underground, right? And we tend to drive machinery over them, so sometimes even the amount of dirt that's there, they will collapse on themselves. And those sinkages we have to fix. But that body just got compressed and is now being broken down, and there's water everywhere that's being held in whatever small pockets remaining, and then that just leaks into the grave next door as we're digging it. I was on my back, like underneath the backhoe bucket, leaning over, and then the ground gave way under my shoulder, and I almost went head first into it. I remember one day the guys next door leaked in so bad, we opened up the grave the following day because we dug it beforehand, and it had rained. The water was like a greenish blue. Like I've never seen water that color, and I'm like, yeah. And my coworker goes, $10,000 to drink. Yeah, no. I said, go for a swim, see what happens.
You die.
And we actually start talking about it, and he goes, what do you think would happen? I'm like, you die. And he goes, seriously? I'm like, if you're not sent to a hospital and just pumped full of antibiotics and whatever other steroid they can find on the face of planet Earth, like, you die. Haven't heard of too many, like, job-related illnesses. I mean, we tend to try to stay pretty hygienic with it. It's not like we're directly handling the body or a decomposed corpse or anything. But heard some cases of pink eye.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's about it.
Yeah. That's pretty gross, dude. That's pretty gross.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact:
And
Muslim
go ahead.
burials don't allow women to spectate them. Just something you taught me.
Yeah. Muslim women aren't allowed to be like graveside. Although I don't know what I don't want to say brand of Muslim. I don't know what sect of Muslim does and doesn't, because I have seen a Muslim burial where women were allowed to, like, they had to be invited by the men to come graveside, and then the men put some dirt on the side of the grave, and the women just with the back of their hand pushed dirt into the grave. Like, that's the closest I've seen women near a burial site until afterwards. Like, once the grave is filled in, the men do their like final prayers and everything. Now the women are allowed to come, or even the following day. Otherwise, if they do show up, they corral the children, off on the other side of the road. Like, they're away from the burial.
Yeah, it says here that it's discouraged, but not like fully enforced across every sect. So it depends on the sect that you are.
Yeah. Which,
Fear of excessive
obviously I
crying
don't agree with.
or inappropriate displays of grief.
I've only had one wailer. I think it was her mom who passed, and she was hysterical. And she wasn't like a kid or anything. She was in like her late, maybe mid-30s. It's also the closest I've seen to somebody trying to throw themselves into a grave.
Jesus Christ, for what? That's crazy.
Just like bury me with her.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yo.
First of all, do you know how much fucking flowers are?
Lincoln limousines.
Yeah, no, we just recently bought a hearse.
You ever see that video of a funeral procession that like legally they're allowed to like go through red lights, but only if they have like a sign that specifically says their funeral procession, and they go through this red and they get fucking nailed.
Really?
Oh
Jesus.
yeah. I think they were coming back from one. So like the body wasn't in the car, and it was like one of the last cars.
Always obey the laws. Yeah, well, now there's another body, so congratulations.
Let's see if I can find it. Why?
What
is
the
this a
hell?
Fortnite. Can we see the
What
video?
is the internet?
Where's the... Are they actually not going to show the accident? Really?
Yeah, probably not.
There was one that I saw that was like a funeral procession. This car got T-boned. Really? Yeah, this is the closest thing we have. What is this? 320p? 240. Jesus Christ.
What is this? 2005? What the hell are you guys doing on the wrong side of the road?
Who's crashing into who? Oh no.
What?
Yep, here it comes.
Oh!
Why would they stop?
I don't know why they stopped.
That's nuts.
The motorcyclist in front stopped, which made the other guy hesitate. The Nissan. He's like, "What are you doing?" And then the other guy was not paying attention. Probably looking at the procession, and bang.
You heard about the famous statue that when women attend it, they, for good luck, they rub his balls?
Yes, I have.
That spot is bronzed, bro. Some women probably even fucking gyrate on top of that shit. You know, they say men are down bad, bro.
What a legend.
Look at his face. Yikes.
That's right. I get bitches in the afterlife.
Yeah. Can't say there's anything like that here.
No. The closest thing we have to that is like lift your feet going over train tracks or some other superstitious shit like that.
What?
Have you never heard of that one?
What the fuck does that even mean?
Like if you're driving and you go over train tracks, you're supposed to lift your feet or something. It's like holding your breath when you go past the cemetery.
What? What is
You've
either
never
of these
heard of
things?
these? You've never heard of these superstitions? These are like old wives' tales.
Let's find out. I can understand the hold your breath one. I get that, but the legs.
It's like not stepping on a crack, or you'll break your mom's back.
That's retarded. The only reason I say that's retarded is because I fucking fell for that shit when I was like 8 or something, and I never stepped on cracks. It was just like I couldn't.
You know what? You just hate fun, don't you?
Hey man. Yeah, in early
Sometimes
20th
I'll be walking
century,
down the street and I'll start avoiding cracks, and it's just fun.
lifting your feet was thought to keep those spirits from catching the rider and pulling them down.
Yeah, I was right.
So what does the cemetery one say?
See, Canadian folklore. That's ours.
That's weird. That's weird. Um, holding your breath. The custom is documented in U.S. and Canadian folklore collections from the late 19th century onward. The most common reason given is that breathing near the dead invites lingering souls or evil spirits to enter and travel as breath. That's a great way for like the public health officials of yesteryear to tell people to stay clean. Don't hold your breath when you're walking by the cemetery, because back then, you know, they weren't all that great at digging graves, probably. Yeah, some
So
telling
this is the
ghosts
stuff
the
we need to
health
teach our
rationale.
children.
Yeah, holding one's breath was thought to avoid inhaling it. Medical authorities of the era blamed miasma for cholera and yellow fever outbreaks, reinforcing the superstition. Interesting. Yeah, can't say I've heard of these.
Yeah,
Have you
my
seen?
yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
My mom and my grandmother told me some of these.
Oh, gotcha. Have you ever seen a fun funeral?
A fun funeral?
Yeah, a fun funeral.
Not really. Um, yeah, I've seen people be like pleasant and I don't know, cheerful, joking, and so on, but nothing like fun, like extravagant or like party style. Just I don't know. There was a cremation we had about a month ago, I think, where everybody there wanted to see me close up the wall, a little niche that they had tucked their loved one away in. And so while I was there, they were already cracking jokes and so on and talking, and some of them looked like they had drinks in their hand, just all standing there huddled together. That's kind of the most fun one I've seen.
Yeah, fair enough. What do you think are some of the biggest problems with the industry? Just from what you've seen.
Uh, with the industry or with like the inner workings of.
Well, anything like anything to do with the process of
Well,
what you've encountered in your
yeah.
job.
Ultimately, I think it comes back to a problem that I think most people can relate to is just the lack of communication. I mean, if you're talking about how to, you know, process a body from death to full burial, like there's several steps in between there, you know. Um, there's the mortuary who receives the body, right? Then they're um, embalmed and whatever other steps are involved with that process, whether they're going to be open caskets, so on and so forth, preparations. Then there's transport to several locations because a lot of these times these places will take place at a church or they'll come to some other like community hall or something, then travel to the cemetery to meet us for the first time. And now go through with this entire process of what was to be expected, who was supposed to know, and how smoothly can we make this transition? Like it's just it doesn't seem as difficult as I think it is to just be able to talk to each other and figure out from start to finish where these people are supposed to go. Because the amount of times that say um, somebody show up, we almost buried people in the wrong graves. This is how bad the miscommunication was. We had two unclaimed bodies coming in at the same time, lots literally right next to each other. So we just dug one big hole. Now, here's the thing there's a big difference between, for example, say 745 and 744. That's a big difference because that's a completely different fucking person, right? If, God forbid, anybody actually needed to be exhumed for any reason, like we need to be making sure we're plotting and digging up the right people. Um, but the miscommunication was so bad, we had two vans coming in, each of them with just one person apiece. So it was just three of us carrying a body, which ultimately is fine. Four is best, but we get it done. And then nobody even stopping to ask, who is this? Who's supposed to be going in here? Who has who in what van? Like it even skipped over myself. Like I didn't ask the question either. And that's a problem. There should be multiple steps where we go, okay, who's going where? How is this happening? multiple times I've been in on a Saturday, for example, doing a burial and not expected to have to watch us fill in the grave, and then all of a sudden there's a pack of people at the burial side that go, "No, we want to watch it filled in." Okay, well now we need to move heavy equipment around you, like civilians, get into position, do this, do that. Like we weren't expecting this. So now I need to grab these certain tools, get them prepped. Like should have had a third man at this point because now I need somebody to help me break this down while I'm also trying to grab the lid. It's the miscommunication. Sometimes we don't know about a burial's happening until hours beforehand. Like that's been ridiculous. It was at a point where we finished a burial and the procession was already coming out of the main office. Like that's unacceptable at this level for what we're doing, for the service we're providing.
Yeah, that's a little ridiculous.
Like I'm not even part of like the planning process. I'm not a face to the company for the funeral, you know. I'm not the director. I'm nobody. But even I understand like certain things need to happen first so that we don't end up in these weird situations. Like at one point, like okay, so check this out. So they had a burial I'm gonna say roughly 2 months ago, month and a half ago. Um, nice plot. Already a monument and a foundation there. Big family lot. Family came out. Funeral director was with them. And then all of a sudden we get a call. And it's like, hey, we can't lower this guy into the liner. Oh, what the hell? We were just sitting there waiting for the go ahead to come in and finish up once the family left because we were told they didn't want to see it filled in. And thankfully that stood true. They didn't. But when we have certain liners, like we have what's called the Oxford liner, and this one is it's cast with like all this different styling on it. Um,
A what
it's
liner?
painted gold. We call it an Oxford liner. No, that's like burial liner or something. Close enough. Yeah, yeah, you're on it. So when we have a liner like this, it's very ornate. It's the biggest service we provide. Okay, this is the most expensive liner we have.
Premium package.
Yeah. So when we do these burials, we put them on a chain. Okay, you see the picture top left, second from the left,
Mm-hmm.
the greenery there, that one. So you see how it's poking above ground?
Yeah.
We sit it even higher than that. So we have these special posts that the lowering device sits on so that when you put the casket on top, you can just flip a switch and the casket will lower itself into the liner. And that's it. That's the service. Then the family leaves. We come in, take the lowering device off, put the lid on, put the chains on, take the whole thing up, take the chains from underneath away, lower the entire liner with the casket into the bed, and then bury it. Now, we can do that in front of people. That's not a problem. But the casket didn't fit inside the liner. So we get over there and we're like, what's going on? And this is one of the instances where we had to take the handles off the side. And not even that, it was so tight, we had to use a ribbon on either side and just the two of us lower it down and then like shimmy the friggin' strap out of it because it was that tight. And if the casket hadn't fit in the liner, what happens now?
Well,
Am I supposed to go get a sander and sand down this guy's casket graveside to fit in the liner? Because the liner ain't getting any bigger. It's made out of concrete. If you needed a custom liner, that's something we could have done. But somebody didn't talk to somebody. And it came this close to not fitting in the liner.
get out your
So this
chisel.
family, what's that?
Get out your chisel.
Yeah. What am I supposed to do? Disassemble the entire box and just put it in pieces next to the guy?
Hope you got a jigsaw handy.
That's what we do with the handles, by the way, when we take them off.
Oh, literally just fucking. Zing,
We just
zing.
put them. We just put them on top of the casket. No. We just put them on top of the casket.
Oh, you. Oh, right, because you unscrew them, so you literally just.
Yeah. We just kind of throw them on top of the casket, and then close the liner.
You guys should, dude. That would be such a sneaky fucking business move to like take them and reuse them.
Dealing handles.
Yeah. They like
Yeah, the
they
one thing I
instruct
am
you.
not is a grave robber.
They instruct you to fucking. Dude, you should pocket one of those if you ever get the chance. It's a nice souvenir.
How the hell do I pocket an entire? Do you know how long those things are? How do I get away with that?
Sleight of hand, bro. Sleight of hand. You done it
Sleight of
before.
hand.
You done it before.
James, you're walking pretty. James, you're walking pretty stiff today. Yeah, I got a kink in my leg. I'm walking around like peg leg Steven over here.
Just put it on the inside of your thigh. Be like, dude, big dick. I got a big dick.
It's a shotgun. That'll deter anybody from asking questions.
Is that a casket handle, or are you just happy to see me?
Oh, Jesus. The real third leg.
But yeah.
But yeah, no, so the guy barely fit in there. And my only thought was this family paid a fucking premium for this. And they didn't want to watch it filled in, which helps us because now we don't have to do it in front of them and worry about them and so on, because people can sometimes get in the way. We don't have to worry about them looking over our backs and so on if something goes sideways, because sometimes the lids don't sit perfectly on, so I'm like jiggling it with a freaking shovel. Sometimes it's not an elegant process, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'd
Like
imagine.
I've mentioned to you before, I'm also not the dirt whisperer. I don't know how the dirt will fall. It shall fall, though. So this family paid a premium, and all they wanted to do was see the casket lowered into that liner, that gold liner. And they didn't even get to see that. And what does the funeral director say to me? Moments after we show up there to deal with this problem, he goes, "Yeah, I saw it was going to be a problem. I didn't say anything." What? Why? Why didn't you say anything? Because if you had, we would have had time to come in and measure and check,
Someone
come
will
up
deal
with a
with it.
strategy, and be there to deal with it.
Someone will deal with it.
Like, we're dealing with this is somebody's funeral, man. And this is the level we've come to. Like, I understand a lack of communication in a lot of job sites, workplaces, however you want to fucking label them, but that's ridiculous. That's unacceptable. That's like the situation, and this is a terrible one, and I hate this one, where when we do get the work order, it also gives us a small diagram of the plots, right? And on that diagram, it will have a small darkened square if there is a cremation buried there. So on a single plot, you can have a body, or two if you have the lawn crypt we saw earlier, and two cremations, one in the top left corner, one in the top right hand corner, and then two more directly below them. So you can have 4 cremations and 2 bodies on one plot. So when we see a diagram and we see that dark circle, it not only tells us that there's a cremation in there, it also tells us where it is. Because people can be buried in cremation before a burial, and those are individuals that we basically dig up. We place them back when we bury the bodies, but we have to dig them up. Now, we got a work order that didn't have that black darkened square anywhere. And all of a sudden, we're digging, and I see that green felt bag that we use to lower urns down into the ground for our cremation ceremonies. And I see it get pulled by the tooth of the friggin' backhoe. And I put my hand up and I'm yelling like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I instantly disappointment. I'm like, really? I mean, I know we buried this guy and he's in the ground, but I don't know. Part of me just says to myself, like, he doesn't deserve this, man. Like, it'd be like dragging a corpse around by like his ankle. It's like, well, yeah, he's already dead. He's been dead for a while. Yeah, but it's just not right, man. and nothing. And we almost destroyed the damn thing. Like destroyed it. It's a big backhoe. It's like 3 tons. It will fuck you up.
Oh yeah, that thing's on fucking hydraulics. It's not
Now put a porcelain urn in front of it and see what happens.
yeah, that shit's not stopping. If you
So
press it hard
thankfully
enough,
nothing
it'll take a limb off.
yeah. So thankfully nothing happened, and we managed to bury that individual back in their proper location, but it's the lack of communication's insane, man. I know in the world that's just how things are, but it's not how things should be here. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Disappointing. That's disappointing to hear because I bet like that was a close call, but like how many have not been close calls just because of human error?
Well, I'm wondering how many bodies are lost
Mhm.
or misplaced and found elsewhere randomly, like, 'cause you can't tell me that doesn't happen.
Oh, it absolutely does.
Not with this level of craziness and miscoordination.
Yeah, and I mean, it's also one of those industries where like once you guys have the land, once you have the setup and everything, there's no like competition. There's no risk. You're just kind of you're providing a service, and as long as you can keep that going, then people will use you. And so there's no market incentive to like, you know, stay at a certain level of care unless you're one of these like rich cemeteries like the one that we saw in New York there that was like that had all those like fancy burials. It's like, yeah, that's because they offer their fucking clients red velvet service. They when they
Mhm,
do the walkthrough of all the designs, they have 2 rooms dedicated to just seeing what the coffins and whatnot is going to look like. They're going to hire an architect. They're going to give you champagne or whatever the hell when they like talk to you about all this stuff. Like offer you a smoke in the cigar lounge for the wake or whatever like, yeah, they're gonna do everything to make sure that they can just upsell you on stuff to make it an experience. But like for the average everyday person that's just using the funeral down the street, like the funeral home rather down the street,
mhm.
like it's just, what competition do they have? Chances are it's a family, like in your case, you know pass it through generation to generation. There's not really a caskets are us.
No, definitely not.
Well, it's good to hear you
But,
haven't
yeah.
seen any like serious mishaps.
No, nothing serious, but I've heard some horror stories, that's for sure.
You ever hear about a body rolling out of the casket, accidentally like tipped over or whatever? That's always like a trope in like comedy movies, and there's a burial.
I No, I've watched a guy shake a dead guy, but that's as close as I've ever seen.
What the fuck?
Oh, yeah. Some other Muslim ritual.
Like
They,
the body?
yeah,
Like they
like a lot of Muslims will open the casket, either right before lowering him or after lowering him, and then they'll, like, throw dirt into the casket, which honestly is very smart and very helpful because it avoids that air pocket I was mentioning earlier. Um, but then somebody has to jump in and screw the lid back on the casket because they're basically buried in pine boxes. They have very, very simple, uh, caskets, Muslims. And, at one point, they first of all, they put the casket on the ground next to the grave, which was unusual because usually they carry them right out of the car, right out onto the lowering device. But they put him graveside, then they unscrewed the lid, and the man's son came over, and he was probably, I'm gonna say, early 20s. And the dad was, I'm gonna say, like, late 40s. Um, and he put his right hand on his father's right shoulder and his left hand on his dad's left shoulder. So his arms were crisscrossed, and then kind of like half sat him up while holding his shoulders. And as they said a prayer, he like shook him. So you'd give him like a couple shakes and then stop, and they'd continue with the prayer, and then you'd give him a couple shakes. And I don't know. At this point, whatever your ritual is, it's up to you. But
Yeah, it's a little odd.
it's a little weird to see for sure.
It's a little weird.
That's probably the weirdest thing I've seen graveside anybody do.
Hmm. What an industry.
It's something. It's
What
something.
an industry. I was thinking of cutting the stream around now, unless you had some other things you wanted to talk about.
No, I'm good.
Well, this has
I
been
still find it funny that we both deal with dead things.
yeah.
Well, me more than you. You thankfully deal with a lot of living things. So
Yeah, on their way to the grave, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is it's kind of weird how we found ourselves both at similar points. Yeah, I wonder what it's like for that guy that comes to pick up the bodies. I see him every day. I wonder what he's got going on, because he doesn't just
we,
stop at our clinic. He goes to every clinic, I'm pretty sure.
the one thing I'm learning about the industry is that we're just people, man. Like I used to pass by this when I was a kid. My parents used to have to go and visit this insurance place. And there was a funeral home right next to it, and it had like a blue light on the outside. And every time I passed it, my mom would tell, "Oh yeah, that's a mortuary or something like that, or a morgue or something." Um, and it was always creeping me out. I was like, "Who the heck could work in that? Like, that's crazy." And now I'm just learning. Now we're just people. I work with somebody from New Zealand who's like in military. They're here on, I don't know, sabbatical or something. No idea. Bunch of the other guys, their families are just in the industry. A bunch of the funeral directors, they're just a bunch of old farts that
Just stuck around.
just they're there to be a friendly face and a calm voice and make everybody feel comfortable, during the funeral and so on. A couple secretaries. They're just people.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of interesting dynamics going on with people that deal with death. Becomes a job. All right, well, time to wrap up this podcast on a lighter note.
Yeah, anyways, talking about dead things the whole time. You guys want to see the biggest graveyard in the world?
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. That was cool.
It's in
That
Iraq.
Dude, that fucking Iraq fucking graveyard. Holy shit. That was huge.
Yeah, that
Massive.
was crazy.
Massive. Several blocks. Forget blocks. That's a small town.
The hometown I grew up in wasn't that big.
Yeah. That was incredibly huge. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us for another edition of White Pill Wednesday. Like I started at the beginning, still in jail, still in Twitter jail. Please tweet support. Get me out of Twitter jail. I would like to be freed. Hashtag free white pill. Thank you, James, for joining me today. It was fun as always.
Thank you. Always a good time.
Yeah, we'll catch you guys next week or whenever. We'll see. If you haven't checked out the last episode, I highly recommend you do with Krutik there. Very interesting stuff. We talked about the India-Pakistan war and his involvement in it, which is very, very interesting. Definitely recommend listening to that. But anyways, we'll see you guys later.